Hello, everybody, and welcome to this month's episode of Suite 301. I'm Sandy Sanderson, and I'm joined with Eric Curator.
How we doing, guys? Hey, remember the show's interactive. Facebook, Twitter, we got a lot of updates coming your way. If you want to call in, 412-321-8440. New extension this week, or this month, is 100. Call in, talk about whatever you want.
And feel free to fire a question in the chat box, comment chat box down below while you're watching us here on Ustream. This is our monthly podcast, broadcast, webcast, some sort of cast.
Okay, that was weird.
Exactly. So we're going to talk about what's going on in all aspects of Colt Club sports, and of course, football season is here. It's nearly postseason time, so we're going to talk a lot about the National Club Football Association. So hope to get you excited, and hope to get you involved in the show. So call in or click on that comment box.
Yeah, so with that said, let's get into football.
All right, we'll start with...
let's recap some games, see where we're at now. So.
All right, well, I'd like to start with when we talk about the NCFA. I'm real excited to announce, and it's been on our website for a couple weeks now, we've added 2 new teams for the 2015 NCFA season. We've added Sacred Heart University and Central Connecticut State University. Both will be joining the North Atlantic Conference, a conference that needed a little more growth opportunity up there, and those 2 teams wanted to jump at the chance to come on early and get the ball rolling for new team development within the NCFA. I'm excited about that, but that's the job's not done. I'm working with probably another 1 to 5 teams that I'm hoping we can bring on for the 2015 season, and so watch for more updates there. But that's about the future. Let's talk about the present. All right, we've got the latest polls, and remember, new polls are coming out tomorrow, new power rankings. And the latest power rankings as of last week had Robert Morris at number 1, unanimous amongst the voters, all 150 points of 150 points available, followed by Oakland at 2, Vermont at number 3, Middle Georgia State was at 4. Recall they were in the national title game last year and lost to 2-time defending champ Coppin State. Coppin State came in at 5 last week. Kennesaw State at 6. Other notables down there, you drop down to number 9, University of Maryland Eastern Shore, who in conference play defeated Coppin State earlier in the season. And then going down a little further, Columbus State is at number 11. I focus on those teams because those are all teams in the postseason or in the hunt for the national title. It's some of the exciting stuff here is Robert Morris at 1 and Oakland at 2. They're both in the Great Lakes. Robert Morris ran the table in the Great Lakes West. Oakland University ran it in the Great Lakes East. And they're meeting up this weekend at Wright State, neutral site game for the Great Lakes Conference Championship. I would assume, and barring anything crazy happening amongst the voters, the winner of that game is going to the national title game, and the loser is out. So great matchup going on there, and we'll have both those head coaches on a little bit later to talk about their programs as they prep for this game. Vermont, sitting at number 3 right now, you would assume are poised to, if they win, they're going to jump into the national title game because one of Oakland or Robert Morris is going to drop out of that option. However, Vermont's got the last game of their regular season tonight, this weekend against Southwest Connecticut, the only team they've lost to this season. So if they win, I think Vermont's in. If they lose, it's going to come down to what do the voters think about that. I mean, it's going to be a second loss on the season, but it's a second loss to the same team. How are the voters going to handle that is going to be the big question. Should Vermont fall to Southwest Connecticut again this weekend? Middle Georgia State, they're in the clubhouse, no games left to go as an independent, had a solid season, but they're basically sitting back waiting to see what happens with everybody else. Coppin State, they're currently at number 5. However, they finished second in the Mid-Atlantic Conference.
2-time defending champ.
2-time defending champ. Lost their first conference game of their, for at least for a couple of years, to UMass earlier this season. So UMass took the first place in the Mid-Atlantic Conference. So UMass is hosting Coppin State for the Mid-Atlantic Conference Championship game. So the question becomes here.
Does that winner have a chance?
Does that winner have a chance? UMass is all the way down at number 9. Coppin's at 5. You know, if Coppin defeats UMass with style points, can they jump Middle Georgia State? Can they jump Vermont? If Vermont wins, what if Vermont loses? Can UMass, if they win and beat Coppin for a second time, will that carry enough weight with the voters to get them over the hump and possibly into
Plus
the
some
top
help
2?
Other places,
They
too.
need some help other places. So it's kind of wild there.
Yeah.
Real exciting weekend of football coming up here. Then we've got Kennesaw State at number 6. They're hosting number 11, Columbus State. Kennesaw State finished number 1 in the South Atlantic Conference. Columbus State was number 2 in the South Atlantic Conference. Neither one of these teams have played postseason football before. So I'm real excited for both programs here. I mean, they're playing championship football at Kennesaw State this weekend. Someone's hosting a trophy. These teams have actually played each other twice already this season and split. Columbus State won the first matchup, which was considered a non-conference game, and then Kennesaw State won the conference matchup, giving them the edge to host the conference title game. So they'll play again this weekend. Neither one of them, I don't think either one of them really has a shot to get to the national title game, but both great seasons, historic seasons for their program, and playing championship football this weekend, so that'll be fun.
For a trophy.
For a trophy, absolutely. And so that's kind of where we got going on there.
So I think we're expecting a phone call any second here, but I think you went over all the recaps, final polls, and everything. We got the games, conference championships this weekend, and Monday we'll be figuring out who's going to...
Absolutely, and look for us to have scores updated in live time on Saturday through our website and Facebook. We'll try to get everything updated to you guys as soon as we know the results.
Got a phone call here.
All right. Welcome to Suite 301. Hi, is this Nick and Dave?
Dave's not here yet, but he's on his way. But he's got Nick so far.
All right, we're joined by Nick Bongers of the Oakland Club football team. How you doing today, Nick?
Any better, I'd be dangerous. How are you?
Sounds good. If I were any better, I'd be you. Big game this weekend. Great. Let's start with recap the season a little bit. I mean, you guys are having a great year. I mean, your program's still young, but you got your feet under you in the right direction, and now look at this. You're playing for conference title football. That's got to be real exciting up there.
Yeah, it's been an unbelievable season. It started out this year with a new coaching staff and a bunch of players, bunch of dedicated players. Last year we had a pretty big ripple effect in the Detroit area, and people started hearing about us, and that brought in a lot more depth this year and some more committed players that wanted to play college football, and they came to us.
There's one thing to have a lot of pride in how well your season's going, but another is when your peers are impressed by what you're doing. You're number 2 in the voters poll, so the voters out there think you're the number 2 team in the country right now, and the Power Number rankings have you at number 2. So I mean that's a solid amount of respect that's being showed to the Oakland program right now, and then to be matching up in conference play, the conference title game with Robert Morris this weekend. It's going to be fun. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there, but it's got to be exciting. It's got the hair on my arm standing up. I can't imagine what your guys, how pumped up they are for that.
Well, it's a heck of an endorsement, but in the Great Lakes East we got a lot of really competitive teams, and Miami and Wright State, Ohio State, and even Flint. Unfortunately, their season fell apart. But we always looked at our conference as being one of the more competitive conferences in the league, and looking over in the Great Lakes West, there's a lot of highly competitive teams as well. So we're looking forward to Saturday. Oh, and Dave's just coming in right now, so Dave's been on the call too.
Excellent. We're also being joined by Dave Broski of the Oakland Club football program. Dave, welcome to Suite 301.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Hey, so give us what do you think's been? Give me your top 2 highlights of the season so far.
Not too high, so I definitely have to go back to a homecoming game against Milwaukee. Last under a minute to go, scored a touchdown, field goal to win it by 1. That was definitely huge for us. One of the better memories this year. Another one was beating Wright State a couple weeks ago. That was we knew that was going to be one of the toughest games coming into the season. They beat us pretty good last year, and we had some revenge due on it, and we came out, we played our game, and we got the victory. And that was another huge game of the season.
All right. Well, I know, the whole nation's under this big weather freezing chill, and you happen to be, like, in the heart of it. How are you guys able to prepare for this weekend's game, even though the weather outside is, we'll call it frightful?
Well, if you're asking how practice went last night, it was 20 degrees and windy, so we persevered through that, and it's nice to have a lot of dedicated guys show up to practice when it's that cold outside. We had guys practicing in Carhartt jackets with their football pads over it, and when you've got a common goal in mind, it doesn't matter what the weather is outside.
Outstanding. Nice. All right, so you've got Robert Morris. What are you expecting out of Robert Morris this coming weekend? I mean, you guys are new to this conference championship stuff. They're the defending conference title holder. They played in this game last year. How do you expect they're going to approach the game?
They're going to approach the game like the number one team in the country. They at this point have something to lose, and they're going to try to protect that. They coming off the victory last year in the Great Lakes championship game. They want to win it again. They have expectations to win the national championship. They're number one, and they want to protect that. They're going to come in and they're going to do everything they can to protect that game, and we got to come out and do the same and act like it's our game.
Understand. And obviously, like you said, the first, this is 1 versus 2 right now. The winner is probably going to the national championship game. How much does that mean to your team, or are you guys more focused on a conference title than a national title?
At this point, we're taking it game by game. This is a huge step. This undefeated season we've had so far. It's a huge step for our program in general. The next game that we need to focus on is the conference championship, and at this point, that's the biggest concern. That is the only game we're thinking about right now. We're not even looking anywhere else because we're not even sure if we're going to make it. So we're looking to play this game, and if we do what we got to do, we come out with victory, then we'll look on to what we need to do. But even just making the conference championship game is a huge step and a huge accomplishment for this program.
Outstanding. That's a great approach, I think. One game at a time. So what's like? Has there been a buzz around campus about the success of the team? I mean, we've seen, the fact that you have a team has gotten you some publicity. But how about now that you're actually having the success on the field? Is there support around school? Do your classmates that aren't on the team know what's going on, and that you guys are in this, put yourself in this position?
So we feel like awareness of our club is always going to be an uphill battle because we're not an NCAA sport. But with that said, we've got over 3,000 likes on Facebook. We've got more likes on our Facebook than any other club on campus. Our hockey club is really big. We don't have varsity hockey, and they have maybe half the likes we do on Facebook. And hockey's been around for years and years. And in Michigan, hockey's pretty big. So we've enjoyed a lot of social media popularity. In terms of our games, our home games are always obviously bigger than our away games, but we're starting to get faculty and staff to come to the games. We've had the provost of our university be a guest captain for our homecoming game, so there's a lot of buzz not only with students but upper administration that, Oakland University has football now, whether it's varsity or not, it's a different story, but that doesn't mean that you can't come to our games and enjoy some, really competitive college football.
Absolutely. Well, that's awesome that you're starting to get that support. The awareness is starting to come around, and more success, additional success on the field will lead to more rewards in the support department. So, good for you guys. Hey, you guys are you started with the NCFA. We were here. We were here from when you were born, and so we're real proud. We're like proud parents to see the success that you guys are having on and off the field. So we wish you the best of luck this weekend. Have a great game. Have a great time, and perhaps we'll be talking to you on Monday.
All right, thanks a lot.
Good luck, guys. Stay warm.
Thanks.
All right, we were joined by Nick Bongers and David Borowski of the Oakland Club football program, currently number 2 in the nation, headed to Wright State University to take on number 1 Robert Morris Peoria. team for the Great Lakes Conference title, and what really amounts to is a spot in the NCFA National Championship Bowl game. Welcome to Suite 301. Is this Coach Peacock?
Yes, it is.
Coach, Sandy Sanderson, Eric Curatori here. How you doing?
Good, I'm fine. How are you?
Doing terrific. We're joined by head coach Lauren Peacock of the Robert Morris Club football team. Congrats on a great season so far. I know, last year you had a great year, a great first year in the league, but you were on the outside looking in. I think you're probably positioned right where you want to be moving into the postseason. Unanimous number one by the voters and number one in the power rankings. What have been some of the highlights that have gotten you to where you are so far?
We've been pretty consistent all year. We got a returning quarterback, and he's Tim Finney. He's done a nice job for us running our offense. We had 9 guys back on defense, so our defense has been our strong point throughout the year.
That's all right. Now you've got a very unique situation, a situation I don't think we've ever had before in the NCFA. You're going up against, you're number one in the country, Oakland's ranked number 2, and you're heading into the Great Lakes Conference Championship game against each other. Both of you sporting undefeated seasons, 1 versus 2, but only one of you gets to go to the national championship game. How do you expect, this is your second time in this game, second shot at a conference championship. This is new to Oakland. How do you think they're going to expect, or how do you think they are going to be preparing for this game coming up?
I don't know how they are. We treat it as another game. I know there's more emphasis and more to lose there, but I'm sure they'll be ready. I think they'll have a little bit of advantage of just being from where they're from. Supposed to be cold and nasty out, so I think weather-wise, they're probably more acclimated to what we're going to see on Saturday.
How is your team preparing to combat the weather and to combat what the Grizzlies are going to bring to you?
Well, we're down. Our numbers are down. We're down to about 25 guys in their roster. Looking at their roster, they're 45 or 50. So I think for the first time this year, I think even though we're ranked number 1, we'll be the underdogs. So we've tried to go outside, so they're used to the cold. But we've also gone inside to try to get just more offensive work done and practice inside. But we've definitely tried to stay outside too, so they're used to the elements.
All right. Now, as we mentioned before, 1 versus 2. Basically, when it comes to the national championship game, winners in, losers out. Does that mean much to you or the team, or is it really just after a repeat conference title?
Our goal at the beginning of the year was unfinished business. We thought that we should have been in the championship game last year, even though we were a first-year program. We lost our first game close to Ohio State, and then we really ran through the rest of our schedule pretty much unopposed. So we kind of thought last year we got overlooked, so our model's been unfinished business. So it's just, another step to our goal to make it to the national championship.
All right. Now, what's support been like around the school? I mean, it's still, you're only in year 2 of the program. Do a lot of the kids on campus that aren't on the team, are they following the success of the program? Are they coming out to the games? Are they aware of what you guys are up to right now and what's on the line?
The thing that's kind of remarkable that people don't understand is we only have 185 students in our school. So, there's not like a big student body to choose from. It's Peoria area football guys that we've recruited and got out of high school, and so there's not there won't be a fan bus or a big following for our game. We got a lot of local people from the community and parents and family at our games, but we don't really have what you call a student body or a following that way.
Wow, I didn't realize enrollment there was that low.
Yeah, it's a new school, and that's kind of the idea behind the athletics, to try to, attract as many students. They've started some new athletic programs, men's and women's basketball and baseball, and they're trying to, we were the first kind of experiment in this, and with the success we had last year, they decided to go ahead and try some other sports. So we're building.
All right, good for you guys. Well, Coach, we wish you guys luck in the defending your conference title this weekend. The weather is supposed to be nasty, so bundle up, take care. We hope everybody has a good game and everybody plays safe. And we wish you well. And if you're victorious, perhaps we'll be having another phone call on Monday to announce a national championship berth.
Well, hopefully I'll be talking to you Monday then.
All right, thanks, Coach, for calling in.
All right, thank you.
Bye. All right, that was Coach Peacock of Robert Morris. Wow, 150 enrollment?
I did not know that. That is.
I didn't realize it was that well. I knew it was a small school.
Yeah, I knew it was new, but
I knew sports were new there. I didn't realize the school itself
Makes it
was
even-
new.
It's more impressive right there. That's crazy. Good for them. Speaking of National Championship Bowl game, I want to remind everybody, next Monday the 24th, we're going to have a live Ustream broadcast to announce the 1 and 2, the matchup for the bowl game. Definitely tune in. We'll have more details about it. 12:01 p.m. Eastern Time. So definitely tune in. I know it's going to be a big announcement. A lot of teams are in the mix, as Sandy talked about earlier. A lot can happen. So 1 and 2, we're going to announce you 12:01 on Monday.
All right, sounds good. And follow along all the NCFA postseason action via the NCFA website, ncfafootball.org, and the NCFA Facebook group. We'll have scores and updates throughout this weekend posted as quickly as we can get them reported to us. And new polls coming out tomorrow, so tune in for that as well.
All right. Well, I think we're going to welcome up Christian Smith onto the set here.
One last thing, NCFA League meeting has been scheduled January 24th. That date has been set in stone now. Information has gone out to all the officers. It's been posted on the website. It's been posted on Facebook. Definitely recommend, if you're starting a team, come to the meeting. If you're a part of a team, make sure your officers come to the meeting. This is where rules get changed. This is where problems get solved. This is where networking happens. This is where the future is built. Boom. All right, now let's get Christian.
All right, now you can come on up.
Coming on. Gentlemen,
How we doing?
Bonjour.
bonjour. Comment allez-vous?
Si, si. Oui, oui.
I have no idea what they're saying.
Un peu. Je te dis de français de 5 ans.
Chez DND.
Director of the show. Dropping the ball.
Uh-oh. Do not
gracious.
disturb.
So what's going on?
What are we talking about here?
I don't know. You guys are the hosts.
I was talking about football for the last 20 minutes.
I heard that.
So, I'll lead. Fine. Club baseball. What's going on in the NCBA?
Oh, yeah.
Well, lots of things. We just finished the fall season in Division I, Division II. I think that was last weekend. We
Yep.
finished up the fall. I guess that's big news. And had a lot of fall tournaments these past couple weeks. So,
How about the one we hosted? Greenville.
yeah, just finished Greenville. That was our third annual one. I thought another successful tournament. Same winner, East Carolina. They won again, but
Three-peat, walk-off.
Three-peat on a walk-off. Very
Against
UNC Wilmington, which I thought was
Very
I got to
impressive.
see them a lot. They were in my pool up in the stadium, so I saw them play all their pool play games. A Division II team,
Yeah.
but a very, very impressive team. Very, just a all well-rounded team. Good defensively, offensively, and I thought they were going to win it.
Yeah, nice
But
guys, too.
very nice guys. So, was pulling for them. Came up just a little bit short. So yeah, East Carolina wins it again, but a successful
Yeah, all in all, I
tournament.
thought it was a good tournament. Definitely be back for a fourth year. And
Yeah.
maybe somebody could take ECU
Yeah.
out. So,
Who's gonna do it? We don't know.
yeah, tune in next year.
You had, what, 12 teams this past year?
12 teams. Yep.
Is there a look to expand it to beyond 12? Or?
We would love to. It's a matter of either finding another field, or if we can get. A tough part is getting teams to play on Friday because of schools and things. The school. So I think we can get two sets of games on Friday. Basically, everybody plays Friday.
It would be at 4 o'clock, which would be the big hurdle.
Yeah.
Or 4:30.
So, yeah, there's ways around that, and I know we have many more interested teams.
Right, because there's teams that basically get left out.
Yeah,
Left on a waiting list.
so it basically comes down to logistics and things like that, and working
Absolutely.
those things out.
Well, that's a sign you must be doing a good job since teams.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Hope
You got more teams than you have space for.
exactly, exactamundo.
So the fall season's ending, wrapping up. What's going on in conference play? Did anyone go undefeated or?
Yeah, we had, after, Great Lakes and the North Atlantic are the two regions that play fall conference games. We have two teams that are undefeated. We have Wisconsin, 3-0, Pitt, 5-0. Somewhat of a small sample size, but, for a team that's 5-0 heading into the spring season, that means there's probably about, 9 or 10 games left. You're putting yourself in a good position. So Pitt's looking good. Another surprise, Albany, SUNY Albany's 5-1 in conference play again, setting themselves up for a pretty good spring season. And Drexel's also 5-1. So some teams are sitting atop the standings right now. A lot of baseball left to play, but
Drexel was a playoff team last year, right?
I believe so. Albany, I think, is one of those surprise teams. I'd have to ask Mitch, but I believe, they're a team that's kind of been at the bottom of the standings the last few years, but is really a very organized program, but is finally, winning some games.
Get over that
and
hump.
Getting over that hump, so to speak.
All right,
So,
good.
yeah, so a
good.
successful fall season. Now it's time for teams to really start fundraising and gearing up for the spring season, because that's when the champions are made.
What about D2 fall season? Anything?
D2, we had a lot of games. A lot of those teams are in districts where a lot of weather is bad in the spring, so we push more into play early in the fall. The three big ones are actually three returning World Series teams: Moorhead, Brockport, and Penn State, all sitting up top of their conference. I believe Penn State is 8-0, Moorhead's 9-0, and Brockport, I believe, is 8-1.
Wow.
Don't have that in front of me. I'm going off the top of my head, but I know they're all three sitting up top of their conferences, and actually a couple wins away from clinching their conferences already. So,
Oh wow.
Getting them out of the way early.
yeah, a lot of teams like to play in the fall, so
Yeah.
it's not a problem.
Okay.
Now, Christian, you're always, every time we talk, you're adding more and more baseball teams to the league. Who else have you stuck in the league since our last show?
I don't think we've added any teams. I mean, right now we're late into the fall season. We do have a potential team, Temple, which for a lot of people, I don't know if you know, but they cut their varsity program at Temple. So there's obviously a lot of baseball talent there. So they're organized, ready to go, got their club status, just about finalizing some things. So that should be in the next few days. Should
Okay.
be adding them. But I think last show, I don't know if I got rushed, but we did add 5 more since. Board's not
Last
there
time,
again.
yeah.
But so we've had 5 or 6 teams join since I think the last update. So
Okay.
Off the top of your head, who you got? Who'd you
gone
join?
for what?
That joined
Oh.
since then?
Off the top of my head, I
Oh, okay.
All right.
So
So,
I
our
put you on
total
the
number
spot.
right now is 269.
269.
Right. Temple will make 270.
270, and sometimes there's out of the woodwork come January when teams get back to school. I wouldn't be surprised to see a fall. Oh, okay. Wouldn't be surprised to see a team in Southern California who can afford to have another team in the conference join. So, might see a couple more teams join later this year.
Now, Eric, you shot down the Brian Norris's Wood Wars.
I
down in
did.
Texas.
Real quick, I know we're out of time. I want to talk Wood Wars. Awesome event. Got to see Norris in action. I'm sure everybody reads about it. His recaps are huge. He does the swing of challenges. It's just a huge event. Texas won it. It was very cool. We did a military appreciation day with USO. Did some first pitches. Presented a check to him and everything. It's very cool.
Official hat. Well, I guess we got both official.
We do.
Fall
Got a Wood Wars
tournament
hat here. We got a Greenville hat here. But yeah, I was.
If you're interested in buying,
Yeah,
at
we
least
still
the
got
Greenville
some.
hat.
We got a couple left
Hey,
over.
let us know.
Yeah.
Got a couple
But
left.
yeah, it was very cool. Very cool to
And
see.
Texas won it again?
Texas won. I don't remember off the top of my head who they beat, but they did come out victorious.
Hey, they won Wood Wars last year and made it to the World Series. Maybe it's a sign they're heading
It's a
back to
good
the
omen,
World Series.
so.
East Carolina won Greenville. They went to the World Series.
There you go.
Who won the State College Classic? Anybody?
Uh,
Anybody who won the State? Pitt. Maybe Pitt's destined to go to the World Series this year.
Hey,
Who won the Battle Creek Battle?
blast.
Battle Creek. Kent State. Kent State
D2.
going to the D2
D2
World
World
Series. There it
That's
is.
how it works. Sign up for the tournament.
Arizona State won Fullerton.
Yep.
would
Tournament
be
this
something.
week.
I guess we'll
All
be
right.
seeing him.
Yep.
Christian,
somewhere.
Yes.
you're out.
All
Go.
right, I'm out of here. Peace.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Christian, Vice President, Baseball Operations, joining the show. All right, who's coming in next? Oh, we gotta get Savs on the line. We got a phone call to make?
Yeah, phone call to make.
I dialed it right. 3 digits, and I got it right.
Be nice if we
All right, we're calling Savannah.
Hello.
Hello, Savannah. Welcome to Suite 301.
What's going on?
Oh, you sound good.
Better, right?
Yeah, you sound healthier.
I'm not sick anymore.
Good for you. I'm jealous. I wish I could say the same thing about my son. But anyway, we're joined by Savannah, Vice President, Spring Training Operations, and clubs and softball operations. Sav, what's up? What's going on with in the world of club softball?
Lots of going on. I mean, we've had so many games already played. We haven't had anybody officially clinch yet, which is good. But by about this time, last year we had a couple teams already clinch, but I don't like to see that. I like to see them battle it out to the end. So I'm really excited because we've only got a handful of teams that are still undefeated. Everybody else has a loss or so under their belt, so it's definitely up in the air this year. The poll that came out in November kind of revealed that as well. We had 4 teams receiving first place votes. We had 2 new teams join us in the top 15 with Grand Valley and Navy, and it was just kind of all over the board. I think people, are showing respect to a lot of teams, which is good. We're just not totally sure what 16 teams are going to be with us there in Columbus, Georgia this year.
And that's why we play the games, right, on the field.
Exactly. It's exciting. I think in years past we've had, some definites where we're like, oh, this team's definitely going to be there. This conference is a lock, yada, yada. But I really think in a lot of situations it's up in the air, which is great because that means everybody's getting better and the competition's getting better. So I appreciate that.
And now, who has surprised you so far this season?
Surprised. I guess I haven't. I mean, the way that the Florida teams have been playing their non-conference series has been kind of surprising. They've been kind of all over the map. Florida got a couple losses. Florida State got a couple losses. UCF and Florida Gulf Coast. So for a conference that is generally very dominant, I'm interested to see what happens there. So that's been surprising. And then as far as new teams go, Monmouth has really stepped it up. They're 7-2 in the New England South Conference. So big props to them. This is their first year in the league, and they're right behind Rutgers as far as earning that conference title. So definitely exciting for them, and they've been a big surprise. So
Awesome. All right, now, so, nobody's clinched yet, but, those teams that are looking to, they're optimistic that their season's going to end in the postseason.
Right.
Now's the time to start fundraising and planning for those travel costs that are coming ahead, because you got regional playoffs you got to go to. Then hopefully you've got to go to the national championship. Why is it important for teams to now prepare now for this postseason funds that will be needed?
Because you want to make it. I mean, this is your opportunity to show the nation, that you're one of the best teams in the nation, and you want to make sure that happens for your team. So, the sooner you start fundraising, the better. And that way, you can do all of our fundraising opportunities. We've got the fundraiser, we've got the dominoes. Kelsey and I can help with some donation letters, apparel sales. I know Penn State sold hats one year and did that. That was a great fundraiser for them. So anything that you can start now is so much better than trying to do it last minute.
Absolutely, yeah. When you wait till the last minute, you compress your time, you compress your earning potential, and now teams right now probably say, well, we don't know if we need it or not. So what if you don't need it? If you end up not going to the postseason, then you end up with a bunch of money in your account. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, it's not a bad thing. You can have a heck of an end of year party. You can get extra new uniforms for next year. You can let it roll over for the next season. Lots of options there. So start now. What about spring training? What's going on in the spring training showcase planning?
It's been a crazy past few weeks because this is coming right down to the deadline here. We had the original early registration deadline set for the 15th, but we've given teams an extra week So anything that we receive when we open the mail on Monday will be the last things that we can take for the early registration, which is getting that discounted $300 registration instead of the $375. So we already have 40 teams registered and another 20 that have verbally committed. So those 60 teams don't even include the teams that have shown interest. So there are a few weeks in the middle that are running out of spots. So, I'd say maybe there's like 2 or 3 spots left in weeks 2 and 3. So if you're one of those teams with those spring breaks, I would say let's get on it now because I don't want you to be left out.
Right. That's one of the concerns we have is we're getting more teams than we have field space. So we need to start bulldozing some trees and building new fields.
Right.
So now, what about softball? How many teams we have signed up for softball?
We just got the University of Florida's registration in today, like 2 minutes ago. So that was exciting. We have, I believe, there are 10 teams registered / verbally committed, and another 10 that have shown interest. So it's looking like we are going to have 2 weeks of it this year, which is so exciting because we haven't had 2 weeks before. So being able to have 2 tournament weekends back to back is going to be really exciting. We'll get to have 2 weeks of softball versus 1. So
that's amazing. That's awesome. That's big growth right there. So what do teams do next after they've registered? Now they get their spot held to go to Spring Training Showcase. What's next for them?
Right, like booking your hotel rooms, which when you do register, we send you information on how to make those hotel reservations. Once you do make those reservations, please make sure to let us know where you guys are going to be staying at and travel. Obviously, the earlier the better. If your team is planning on flying, obviously it's better to book your flights early. So definitely get on that, and we can help you with that as well. Contact me or Kelsey or Eric, and we can absolutely help walk a team through that.
All right, sounds good. Well, Savs, we're out of time, so we got to let you go. But as always, appreciate you joining us on the show.
Thanks.
All right, bye. Savannah Aarons, VP, Spring Training Operations and Softball Operations.
Let's give a quick shout out to the free agent team real quick. Baseball, contact me. Softball, Kelsey and Savannah. I know they got a lot of interest going. I think I heard today they're going to have a couple weeks maybe. Baseball, hopefully we'll have a couple weeks again. So contact us, coaches, alumni, and eligible players, locals, brothers, sisters, whoever.
You should do baseball versus softball free agency.
We're thinking about baseball through softball. So no, we're not. But we
Slow pitch, a slow pitch fun day
It better be
tournament.
slow pitch because fast pitch I can't hit that. That's not happening.
Right.
So.
That could be fun.
All right. I heard that, Mitch. Speaking of Mitch, let's bring him on set real quick. Talk some basketball, a little Richardson, a little bit of everything, huh?
What'd you hear, Eric? I don't know what you're talking about.
Neither do I. So, Mitch, what is going on in the world of the NCBBA?
Oh, well, West Virginia just put on a pretty successful tournament. That was the first fall tournament put on by an NCBBA team. They had 6 teams at WVU competing, called it the West Virginia warm-up. I had started the process getting the ball rolling with the teams. We figured out that it would be more affordable if we let the club team itself put on the tournament.
That's a good idea.
They could save money on the facilities, and thus they didn't have to raise the entry fee, so more teams could come out and participate. Had some challenges going against or recruiting some teams who had gone to different tournaments. From what I hear from multiple people, this was the more enjoyable experience, so I think it's going to continue to grow. But already they had a few NCBBA teams and then even a non-member team in Robert Morris University, not the school in Chicago that you guys heard from earlier with football, but the one here in Moon Township, just outside of Pittsburgh.
Who came out victorious?
West Virginia ended up winning the
Very
tournament.
cool. Very
But
cool.
I looked at some scores, and Lynchburg and Towson really put on a show. There were at least a couple games, I think.
So they're all competitive games at least.
Oh, yeah, I think Lynchburg touched 97 in a game, so
97?
they could score some points. Yeah.
Didn't we have a game in the national championship last year? It was like 99. Everybody was waiting for
Yeah,
hit that 3-digit mark.
It looked like an all-star game. I remember that. Yeah. Well,
Was
good.
that Spring Hill, I think, that put
Good.
it up?
So we had some conference play. Who's playing? How's everybody looking? Where are we standing with that?
The conference series that already happened was in the North
Just one?
Atlantic. Yeah, just one
Okay.
happened so far. A lot of teams are playing non-conference games.
Which is
but,
good too.
It's pretty popular to do the fall tournaments.
Yeah.
But if few teams are already starting in the conference, into the conference schedule, and that was Niagara and Cortland in the North Atlantic. So Cortland ended up sweeping that series, but I mean, it's still early, so a lot
Yeah,
can change.
a lot of games
We'll
left
see
to
what-
play.
We'll see what happens, yeah.
So, what new teams have we gotten on board this for this year?
Gosh.
Did I put you on the spot?
Rather
Sorry.
than tell you that, I'll just tell you that right now we're operating with 26 active teams,
Okay.
which last year we had 26 total, and a lot of them were not active for the whole season. So we laid a strong foundation this year. We have 26 teams who are ready to go, ready to play basketball, and we're looking at 3 more teams to try to get into the league. Iowa wants to add a second team, so if you're like them and you have a big roster, but you can only put 15 on your NCBVA roster, consider adding a second team. It's not too late. Get in touch with me and we can make that happen. It's a great opportunity for more basketball and for more guys to see playing time on the court. Then there's also Seton Hall, who is working to start a club team. This is going to be a new club for them, and they're really excited to get involved, trying to do it for this year. And our third one, Bellarmine University in Louisville, Kentucky, wants to get involved, and I am going to be talking to their athletic director later to try to get them into the league for this season. At this point, any team that wants to get involved needs to get in touch with me ASAP, because we need to get unanimous approval from their conference to get them added. Now, these teams want to play more basketball, so in almost every conference, it's not going to be a problem to get them added, but I need to go through the proper channels, so let's make it a priority.
Awesome. So let's touch base real quick before we go. NCBVA championship, just the details, where it's going to be, dates, and all that good stuff.
It's going to be April 10th through 12th here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania again,
Okay.
at Career Sports and Fitness Center in La Roche College, or at La Roche College. Beautiful facility. They do a great job of helping us to host the event, and our staff puts on a world-class tournament. Really, it's spectacular, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with it this year and what teams return and what new teams make it up there. It's an 8-team event. You have to win your conference, be the conference champion to get your bid to the event, and I'm looking forward to some pretty exciting basketball this year.
Yeah, last year, our first year there, was awesome. It's a great facility. We had some good games, laid some good groundwork for the future, so that should be exciting. Switching over to Richardson, what do people need to know about what's going on, the time frame of the year for Richardson, and any good deals going on or anything like that?
Yeah, most importantly, I mean, you always get a great discount by ordering through us on your Richardson products, but through the end of this month, the end of November, just a couple weeks away here, you get an additional $1 off per item on top of that already spectacular discount. You can save up to 50% off of MSRP prices with all of the discounts in total. Now is the perfect time to be ordering for your winter apparel. They have all kinds of beanies and gloves and scarves, and I'm talking wool knit hats, microfiber, fleece, all kinds of different products. You can get them $10 or cheaper depending on what you want to do, how customized you want to make your order. It's really too great of a deal to pass up, so if you're interested at all, get in touch with me so that I can show you the full spectrum of products that they have available to you, because you really are missing out on a huge opportunity if you don't take advantage of it. Again, you got to get your order placed before the end of November if you want to take advantage of that additional $1 off. So get in touch with me today so that we can have you ready and set up by the end of November.
Good stuff, Mitch Connor. You got anything else for us?
That's it. That's it for me.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Well, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Mitch.
See you next month.
Sounds good.
All right. Does that take us to closing?
It does.
All right. We appreciate you tuning into the show. Hope you enjoyed it. Could use a few more callers. Come on, where are you out there? Are you all studying for finals, midterms? Are you in Thanksgiving mode already?
It's a good excuse, if not. Favorite part of the show?
Favorite part of the show? How about Robert Morris?
Took my answer.
Robert Morris. No, the fact that they left something on the table last year, and it's unfinished business. I like that. Their motivation's unfinished business. So they want to be in that national title game.
I was going to say, just hearing from both perspectives, from each school, how they're a little different. You know, RMU's got the redemption on their minds. Oakland's, just excited to be there. Never been here before, but obviously they want to, go out on top. So,
right.
That said, next month, December 16th, Suite 301 p.m. The show is archived at, www.ustream.tv/channel/Sweet301. I said that good this time. All right.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook for all your latest updates. We'll see you next time. Lots of NCFA action this weekend. Tune in. We'll see you Monday. NCFA Selection Show. We out.